Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome back to my channel. If you've spent any amount of time watching my videos, then you would probably know that I love rereading books. It is one of my favorite things to do. I just love re-experiencing a favorite book multiple times. Sometimes I annotate it, which just adds to the reading experience. I think I reread books almost as much as I read new books. Like they're very neck and neck when I do my end of year statistics. I just love rereading. So today I thought that I would talk about some of my top priority books that I want to reread soon. So without further ado, let's get into the stacks of books that I want to reread. So first off, I have a few Marissa Meyer books. I only have one with me because the other ones are in storage, but the first one is Heartless by Marissa Meyer, obviously. So if you don't know what this book is, it is a kind of Alice in Wonderland retelling, reimagining, origin story for the Queen of Hearts. So we're following the Queen of Hearts before she is the Queen of Hearts. I adore this book. I think Marissa Meyer is just so good at fairy tale retellings, and this one is so interesting to see the beginnings of the Queen of Hearts, this villain that is just so fun to read about. This is my paperback copy. I do also own the hardcover, but I want to annotate this book just because I think it would be a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun annotating my Lunar Chronicles books, so I feel like this is going to be a very similar experience. Unfortunately, I did recently try to paint the edges of this book and it did not go that well. I did black on the top and the bottom, and then I tried to do like stenciled edges, but I don't have like a proper book press to like press the book together, so I had to kind of figure it out, and it didn't give me a lot of room to paint nicely. I feel like it looks way better on camera than it does in real life. Like maybe if I get close, there you go. Now you can see all of the ugly imperfections. So I'm trying to decide if I want to just go over it with black and just cover all of the hearts, or what I want to do. But I'm like really mad because I deliberated doing this for a while, and then I was scared that something like this was gonna happen and it was gonna be ugly, so I didn't do it, and then one day I just snapped and I did it. I regretted it. So here we are. I'm also hoping that like tabbing it and annotating it will cover up some of the imperfections. But yeah, let me know your opinions because I'm quite sad about this. But regardless of that, I am excited to reread this book and annotate it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And then I want to reread one of Marissa Meyer's series. I want to reread the Renegade series. I think I've only read this series through once. Yeah, I don't think I reread any of the books before Supernova came out, which is the final book. So we have Renegades, Arch Enemies, and Supernova. And I'm really curious to reread it because when I was first reading Renegades, the first half was incredibly slow for me and I wasn't loving it as much as I wanted to. The second half totally changed my opinion. It grabbed my attention and I adore it now. But when I first read it, that first half kind of dragged. So I've been curious ever since to know if I were to reread it, if I would feel differently about it. So that's kind of one of the motivators for me wanting to reread it. But I'm also just missing Nova and Adrian and all of the characters, and I'm missing the world, and I just think it would be a lot of fun to revisit the story, revisit the characters. I also just really love rereading Marissa Meyer books because they just feel so comforting to me. She is definitely one of my favorite authors. So those are the Marissa Meyer books I'm kind of itching to reread right now. The next book I want to reread is Of Curses and Kisses by Sandhya Menon. So this is the first book in the St. Rosetta's Academy series. I think that's what it's called. I believe it's a trilogy, and I've only read this first book, and it is like a companion series. Each book follows a different main character, so I don't technically have to reread this book before getting into the other ones, but I would really like to. This is another kind of like fairy tale retelling series. This one is inspired by Beauty and the Beast. I can't remember specifically what the other ones are, but I really want to reread this so I can continue on. I was supposed to do this in January and then I just didn't. So hopefully at some point I can do that because I remember really loving this book when I first read it. I adore Sandhya Menon's books, so I'd really like to reread this one with the intention of continuing on and finishing the series finally. So I kind of wanted to reread some Emily Henry books. Beach Read is not among these because I have reread that one a couple of times, I feel like, or at least once, whereas I've never reread any of these ones. So we have People We Meet on Vacation, which is my least favorite Emily Henry book. I still adore it. As you can see, I do have a lot of tabs in there, so I'd be curious to reread it and see how I feel about it now. Maybe I'll like it more than I did the first time. I'm not entirely sure. I just remember the beginning of this being a little bit slow and didn't capture my attention in the same way that Beach Read did, so I'm really hoping that upon a reread I can enjoy it even more. But obviously I did enjoy it. Like, I don't dislike any Emily Henry books. And then we have Book Lovers, which was my second favorite until this one, which we'll talk about. And so I really want to do a reread of this one as well, because I feel like this is a lot of people's favorite Emily Henry book, and I honestly just don't remember a whole lot about it specifically. I also did not tab this one. I don't know why I didn't, but I didn't, so I'd really like to tab this one as well. And then we have Happy Place, which I just bought the paperback for recently, so I really want to reread this one because this immediately jumped in to the second spot of my Emily Henry ranking, and honestly I was gonna say it might tie with Beach Read, but I don't know if anything could ever beat Beach Read. But with her new book Funny Story coming out soon, I'm kind of in an Emily Henry mood, and I just want to reread all of her books, these ones being the priority. I also want to read this one specifically with the intention of seeing if I want to annotate it, because I do have the original hardcover copy that I would annotate if I feel like it. So we're gonna reread this, see how I feel, because I feel like annotating an Emily Henry would be a lot of fun, and I haven't actually done it. I've just tabbed some of them. So these ones are definitely high priority rereads for me as well. I'm thinking the summertime will be the perfect time to reread these books. And then the last adult romance that I really want to prioritize and reread is Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. This, I would say, is one of my absolute favorite books by Christina Lauren. I tabbed it a lot. It's like a second chance romance book, childhood best friends to lovers, just my kind of vibe, and I really connected with it and I really enjoyed it, but I've never reread it, and I also think I might annotate it. I don't know, it could be fun. So I really want to reread this book again. I think I want to reread it very soon, maybe like early summer. I will be putting out a summer TBR when we get there, but we're still in spring, the beginning of spring, so Brittany, calm down. The next two books I want to reread are by the same author, and I've just been feeling a pull towards these books. I do think they were on my TBR in January, and then I just didn't get to them because that's the story of my life. I'm a mood reader. This is how the cookie crumbles, you know. But I want to reread Counting Down with You and A Show for Two, both by Tashi Bouillon. I've reread this one once or twice. It's one of my favorite YA contemporaries, and this is Tashi Bouillon's sophomore novel, and I've only read it once, but I really loved it. I think I read it in a sitting, and I just honestly don't remember a whole lot about it, and sometimes I want to talk about it and rave about it with you guys, but like I don't remember anything about it like concretely enough to like tell you guys about it. So I really want to reread this one and just re-experience Tashi Bouillon's amazing YA contemporaries. She is easily one of my favorite YA contemporary authors. Her books are just so cute and sweet, but it also has a really important mental health rep. This one has anxiety and this one has depression. This one is also inspired by the time when Tom Holland went undercover at Tashi Bouillon's school in preparation for the Spider-Man movies. He wanted to know what it would be like to be like an American high school student. He went undercover, and this is inspired by that. So these books are just so much fun, and I desperately want to do a reread of them. So hopefully, fingers crossed, very soon I can get to these. And the next book I want to do very soon, and the next one I want to reread very soon, it's As If on Cue by Marissa Cantor. I read this for the first time last year and absolutely adored it, and the reason I want to reread this one, beyond the fact that it's just like an amazing book and I really want to re-experience it, and it also has one of the best first kiss scenes I've ever read about, but it has a companion novel coming out called Finally Fits, which follows, I believe, the main character's best friend, and I honestly don't remember enough about Fitz to read a book all about her. Like, I want to get the base knowledge of Fitz before I get into her own book. I just love this book so much. It's rivals to lovers, musical theater. There's so much good tension in this book, and it's just a really good YA contemporary. I adore Marissa Cantor and her writing, so I'm really excited about getting to re-experience this lovely book very soon. And while there are a million other books that I could talk about, because really I want to reread most books that I love, but the last three I want to talk about is the Once Upon a Con series by Ashley Poston. So I feel like most people don't know about these books or don't talk about these books anymore. They were really big on booktube when they first came out, but I feel like now everybody only knows about or only talks about Ashley Poston's adult novels, which fair enough, those are also really good, but there's something about this little YA contemporary series that I just adore. More fairy tale retellings. There's a lot of fairy tale retellings on this list. So we have Geekerella. This is obviously a Cinderella retelling. It has like the secret identity trope where two characters are like texting each other but they don't know who the other person is. It's also a normal person celebrity romance. It's very cute. And then we have the Princess and the Fangirl, and this one is another like normal slash celebrity. These are actually all normies dating celebrities. Maybe that's why I love them so much. Anyways, but this one is a Princess and the Pauper retelling. It's also sapphic. We love it. And then we have Bookish and the Beast, which I've never reread. I'm pretty sure I've reread this one. I've for sure reread Geekerella a couple of times. I also have an annotated copy, but it's in storage. But I've never reread this one, and I'd really love to because it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, which I'm just obsessed with. And I do think that this was my second favorite in the series, and I just really want to reread it. But what I love about these books is that it takes classic fairy tales that we all know and love, but it makes them nerdy, because kind of the focus of this world is this like kind of like Star Wars, Star Trek inspired fandom. It's called Starfield. So there's like conventions for the sci-fi franchise. In this one, they're like creating a new adaptation of it. So it's just fairy tale retellings, but make them nerdy. And Ashley Poston does it so incredibly well. And I just think that if you love Ashley Poston, then you should pick these books up because they are so fun, so cute, so sweet, and I just adore them. They all connect as well, so you do see the characters from each book in the other ones making cameos, which is just one of my favorite things. So you don't have to read them in order, but I recommend it. I always recommend reading companion series in order. But yeah, so I cannot wait to reread these ones. I want to do it very soon. Those are all of my like high priority books that I want to reread. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. Comment down below and let me know if you enjoy rereading books, and let me know your favorite book to reread, because I definitely have a few books that I reread all the time. The rereadability of them is just so good. So let me know your favorite book to reread down below, or just let me know some books that you'd like to reread soon. Subscribe if you have not yet already, and I will see you guys next time.